Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Monday, May 9th, 2011 meeting of the Board of Trustees. If everybody would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tonight I am very pleased to announce that I'm going to fill the open trustee position on this board. And our first order of business tonight, I would appreciate if our judge would swear in our brand new trustee, Janette Hayes.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of trustee
the office of trustee
of the Village of Tuckahoe
of the Village of Tuckahoe
and will,
and will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York.
and the Constitution of the State of New York.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Got to sign the book first. Thank you, Judge. We don't waste any time. The name tag is in place. That's perfect.
Plaques up there.
Cozy in this corner.
Janette has been a very active member of our community for a very long time. She's well-known throughout a lot of our special events. She served on the Tuckahoe Housing Authority for a stint about a year or so ago, and really pleased that she accepted this appointment, and I want to thank her very much. And if anybody has a few words to say?
Janette, welcome.
Thanks, Tom.
We're very happy to have you on the board. In the little time that we've known each other, your reputation precedes you for being a hard worker, and Mayor Eklund shared with me your resume, which as I looked through it, I really saw someone who has worked hard to excel in all of the things that you've done. And I think that that's something that is transferable to a position on the board, and so I think you'll do a great job. So welcome.
Thank you.
Trustee Quigley?
And I'd like to welcome you too, Janette. I think you'll find, if you know us already, that we're I think a smooth, well-working collegial board. We've had good discussions, as you saw on Thursday night, about the different issues. I haven't seen any partisanship in this group, and I think that we all have the best interests of Tuckahoe at heart. I'm sure you do too, and we're welcome to have you on our team.
Thank you.
Trustee Luisi?
Trustee Hayes, welcome aboard. In the short time that I've known you, you've have impressed me with your knowledge of the goings-on of the village, and like my fellow members on the board, I also look forward to working with you. And the one joke of the night is we are the bookends now, so welcome aboard.
Thank you.
But we will have a wonderful exchange of ideas, as has already been evidenced in our month in office so far, and I know you're going to do nothing but bring fresh ideas to this board and to this village as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Hayes, would you like to say a word or two?
A few words.
Sure.
Thank you, Mayor Eklund and fellow trustees. I am truly honored and humbled to be part of such a great team and be sitting next to each of our village representatives. And I am really looking forward to working with all of our village departments who truly keep our village ticking each day. Without their hard work, dedication, and support, the village board would not be able to accomplish all that we do and continue to do up here. Be assured, I am ready to work closely with all of our village departments and multiple organizations you have entrusted me with, such as our Tuckahoe Seniors, our Environmental and Tree Committee, our Buildings Department, Zoning and Planning Boards, and of course our Village Clerk's Office. As well, I am very much plan on continuing to be an active participant and now formal representative with our numerous village organizations and events that take place throughout the year. In addition, I know we have briefly spoken about a few of the major projects that Mayor Eklund would like me to work on, such as creating a quarterly village-wide newsletter, also working on our village website, and continuing to reach out to all of the residents within our community. Be assured, and you know, I am very hands-on and pledge to give 100%. Also, I am looking forward to working with many of our neighboring communities, Mayor Mary Marvin and the Village Board of Bronxville, and Town Supervisor Anthony Calavita and the Town Board, where we can continue to pull our ideas together, our efforts, and collaborate to keep our community a great place to live, work, and play. I sincerely need to mention and thank my family who is here with me tonight, my stepfather, Pat, who is my rock, and my aunt and uncle and cousin Meredith. Also, I want to thank my father and my stepmother and my brothers who unfortunately were not able to travel down to Tuckahoe this evening, but I know their presence is here with us. Finally, I have to mention a special thank you to my day job bosses at Unitex, many who are here tonight in the back, and my friends who showed up to support all of us and offer their encouragement. Thank you again, Mayor Eklund and fellow board members. With that being said, I'm ready to get to work.
Let's get to work. That's great. Before we do that, I actually want to ask if there's anybody from the public who would like to say a word. Mr. Supervisor, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for recognizing me. I appreciate that. To Janette, I wish you the very, very best of luck. I think you're a terrific addition to this board, which is just an outstanding board. You have a great group of people before you to work with, and certainly you have the complete cooperation of the town board. Mr. Marcoch is here tonight, and Luigi has his heart here, of course, as did Sheila Marcotte for many, many years. But we look forward to working with you on a daily basis. I was just kidding around with Greg a little earlier. I've seen more of him in the last month or so than I had in quite a long time. It's like, well, I'm tagging around, like stalking him somehow. But, you know, when you get on that circuit, when you go to all different events and you get to all the meetings and you roll up your sleeves, as I know you're going to do, we'll be spending a lot of time working together for the benefit of Tuckahoe and Eastchester at large. And I wish you the very, very best of luck. I know you're going to do a magnificent job, and congratulations to Steve on a terrific appointment. And again, I pledge my loyalty to this board, and we'll keep working as hard as we can to make this town the great place that it is. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public? Yes, sir.
My name is Michael Potak. I'm the president of Unitex, and I spent a lot of days with this lady, and you can have her, you know, afterwards. She's a terrific person to work with, great follow-up, and we're very excited that she represents this village, and we think if she just brings some of what she brings to our company here, it's going to be a great addition to your board. Congratulations on your selection. Good luck, Janette, and our hearts and minds are with you, and just do a great job.
Thank you. That's a very nice endorsement for a very prestigious firm, too, so thank you. Anybody else? Trustee Marcoch, Town Councilman Luigi.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Mayor. Board of Trustees. Steve, I think you made an excellent choice here. I know Janette for quite a number of years now. We've worked together on many projects here in the village. She's volunteered numerous hours, countless hours, I should say, to the different events, whether it be the Easter egg hunt or the Tuckahoe Day, just going back years. She's always been there for this community, for this village. And I know that she's, without a doubt, she's going to do an excellent job for the village, and she's going to be a tremendous asset to this board. So I congratulate this board on this election. I congratulate Janette tonight, and I wish her all the best. If there's anything I could do to help, I'm there to help you as well. So have a good night, and thank you for the time.
Thank you. Anybody else? Mayor Mike?
Good evening, Mayor Steve, Board of Trustees, especially our newest member. I think we all can realize that good decisions and good people make good government. And I think, I know, by appointing Janette this evening, you've met both of those requirements. Janette, we all know, we know her from her energy. She's obviously got the skills She's even have her boss come tonight. I couldn't do that. And most importantly, she's got a strong commitment to Tuckahoe. I think we're all going to be well served by her appointment, and I'm looking forward to watching her do great things with this team. It's an excellent team. I wish you all well. Congratulations, and great job, kid.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public? Well, with that, I just want to thank, again, Janette for accepting this appointment, and we know you're going to do a fantastic job here, and as I just want to echo what everyone else has said, I mean, we know you're a hard worker, and look forward to working with you. A great addition to this team, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking this. First order of business tonight, we have a special presentation. Oh, I'm sorry, roll call, thank you. Roll call, please.
Trustee Janette?
Present.
Trustee Quigley?
Present.
Trustee Luisi?
Present.
Trustee Hayes?
Present.
Mayor Eklund?
Present. Trustee Hayes. Very good. Our first item tonight is we have a special presentation. Commander Foster here. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. If Commander Foster can please come up to the podium.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Anthony, why don't you come up with me? I know I don't have to introduce Anthony Laurie. He's my senior vice commander, and he's here for my support. I wanted to tell you about this year's Memorial Day Parade. And there's two big changes. One is the date. We're going to be marching the Sunday before Memorial Day in the afternoon, and that would be the 22nd of May. The other big change was the route of the parade. And this year we are not coming down into the village of Tuckahoe. We are leaving from Immaculate Conception Church and marching into Eastchester to the Medal of Honor Monument and to Lake Isle. The main reason for this is the first year we will actually be having a Medal of Honor recipient as our Grand Marshal. And the first year a live recipient has visited the Medal of Honor Monument. And he will be speaking there and also handing out the 3 post scholarships. So we thought it would be kind of special to have him end the parade there. But we did feel bad for Tuckahoe, and we wanted to let you know this is not an every year event. And that's why I brought Anthony here with me tonight, because he would have had a revolution in the VFW if we try to do that. But we wanted to do something special for Tuckahoe. So the Friday evening on the 21st, we will be having the Paris Island Marine Corps Band. And this is not just a band. These are mostly Juilliard students. This is a great, great band. It's a marching orchestra, so to speak. They will be marching from the Vietnam-Korea Monument down Columbus right into Depot Square. When they come into Depot Square, they will do a concert for the public, and then we will have a small ceremony, and then they will end with all the military themes. But Gary Bykirk, who is our Medal of Honor recipient, will also be with us that night. Now, Gary is a Medal of Honor recipient from Vietnam, and when he came home, before he received the Medal of Honor, he was shunned when he tried to go back to school. He was spit on and called a baby killer. And Gary became a recluse. He lived in a cave, and he would just go into town once a month to the P.O. box to get his mail. And it was there that he received a letter from Washington asking him to come down to receive the Medal of Honor from President Nixon. Well, that changed Gary's life again. Just as he saved so many lives, that medal saved his life. And we would really love the people of Tuckahoe to show him how much we appreciate what he did and undo what was done to him when he came back, like so many other Vietnam members. And Anthony, just please reassure the people of Tuckahoe that we're not keeping them out, and we'll be back again next year in force.
We're actually happy. We have on our agenda tonight that we're going to use our trolley in your parade, and I'm real pleased about that. I think it's very appropriate, and I'm looking forward to that as well.
And
what time is the band going to be performing on
6
Saturday?
o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yeah. And if it works out well next year, we're going to have the first recipient of the Medal of Honor in the Vietnam War here as our Grand Marshal, and he will start the parade at the Medal of Honor Monument and end it in Tuckahoe. Good evening, Board of Trustees, Mayor Eklund, Trustee Hayes, congratulations. We've had some meetings about the Memorial Day Parade. I was one of the committee members, and Councilman Marcochi was there also. I will truly tell you, and honestly tell you, it took a lot of convincing for me to say, okay, let's not go through Tuckahoe. I rest assured that they fought with me for a long time, and I finally gave in, with the exception that this would be only a one-time deal, that we will not slight the people of Tuckahoe. The parade will come through Tuckahoe next year, as always. And as I say, as many years I've been in, all my life that I've been in this town, the parade never failed to come to Tuckahoe but this one year. And I can rest assure you, it'll never happen again, but I am happy and content the way the parade route is going. And I'm sure with the concert coming here on Friday evening, Saturday evening rather, that everyone will be happy and we won't slight anybody anymore. And the parade will return to Tuckahoe next year with the full roof from Eastchester down through Tuckahoe. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Will it be a rain or shine event on the...
Guaranteed no rain.
Okay,
No rain.
you're right.
It's
you're right.
guaranteed. Thank you again, Mayor. Thank you, Board, and
Thank
thank
you.
you, people of Tuckahoe.
Thank you for coming out tonight. Tonight we have some public hearings. Our first public hearing tonight is public hearing local law number 5 of the year 2011, a local law amending section 22-33 of the Village Code of the Village of Tuckahoe, entitled Color Schemes, Emblems, and Identification, of Chapter 22 entitled Vehicles for Hire. Do I have a motion to open this public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Discussion? I will actually talk about this a little bit. This is a public hearing on, we're making some language deletions to this provision, and the deletions we're making is no advertising for political purposes. This is in taxi cabs, and our counselors has advised us that this would be appropriate at this time to take this measure.
That's correct.
Okay. Any other comments on this? There being none, do I have a motion to close this public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor?
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
Sorry, I answered for her. I'm out of order again. Sorry.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor.
So, I'm abstaining from this.
Now I call for a motion to adopt local law number 5 of the year 2011. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
Abstain.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Our next public hearing is a public hearing regarding the intermunicipal agreement with the County of Westchester for the Community Development Block Grant Funding Program for the fiscal year 2012 through 2014. Do I have a motion to open this public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion. We have some items that pertain to this issue on our agenda tonight, and 2 items, which are 2 resolutions, which we will be tabling until next Monday. We're going to have a special meeting on this next Monday. We would like to have an extra week for a little bit more discussion on this matter, but it's important that we do have the public hearing open, and just to ask the public if anybody has any questions or if they want to have any input on this issue. And there being nobody from the public.
Hang on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Irina?
Irene, oh, did you want, oh, I'm sorry. Please.
Good evening. Dear Mayor Eklund, dear trustees, the Tuckahoe Housing Authority benefits a limited clientele which meets the low and moderate income criteria established by HUD and as such is eligible to apply for the Community Development Block Grant funds. It has been determined that an urgent need exists for the following applications: in Jefferson Gardens, ADA senior bathroom conversions, 20 walk-in showers and other improvements, and 6,000 RPs, total of 120,000 with THA contribution of up to 30,000. Stanford Garden site improvement includes playground and steps repair, total of 130,000 with THA contribution of up to 32,500. Please note that this playground has not been in use for over 6 years and contains a possible sinkhole. Jefferson and Stanford Gardens roof replacement, 3 roofs at 70,000 each, total of 210,000 with THA contribution of up to 52,500. Jefferson and Stanford Gardens security and lighting upgrade, total of 120,000 with THA contribution of up to 30,000. Stanford Garden boiler upgrade, total of 190,000 with THA contribution of up to 47,500. The Tuckahoe Housing Authority is applying for CDBG grant for the years 2012, 2013, and 2014 for the above applications. The total amount of anticipated grant is $770,000. The total amount of the THA contribution is $192,500. On behalf of every THA resident and the entire village of Tuckahoe, we cannot thank you enough for your cooperation in making this year's grant cycle a reality for us. Whatever funds we are fortunate enough to be awarded will be put to good use and will most certainly improve the lives of all Tuckahoe Village residents. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Irene, just a question. Could you give a copy of the your program there to the clerk? Maybe we can get that distributed so we have all the numbers. I couldn't quite get them all down. And we could have them distributed to everybody on the board. It'd be great. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
You did.
Irina?
Irene?
Could you answer a couple of questions for us, perhaps? One that I had was whether there's any other avenue for public funding to apply for these particular projects other than CDBG?
Well, we get the operating subsidy from HUD, and we also get capital fund. But it's really a limited amount each year, and the 2010 grant is already obligated. So we are anticipating to receive CFP for 2011, but it's only going to be $210,000. So it's nearly not enough for what we're planning to do.
210,000 from CDBG?
No, from HUD directly.
Okay. Is that part of the 770?
No.
Oh, that's apart from that. So the 770 would all be CDBG?
Hopefully,
Petition?
yes.
Petition?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Trustee Luisi, did you have a question as well?
I think you asked a question. Besides HUD, are there any other avenues that you can pursue
Just
to
the
obtain
rental.
funding?
Well, I applied and I was fortunate enough to receive the grant from Weatherization, which is sponsored by the state of New York. And we did a lot of improvements, but we are limited in terms of what we can do because whatever we do has to be tied to the weatherization.
Okay.
In fact, so I mean, we did. We're planning to do 2 roofs using this money. We also replaced all the windows in the senior building last year. We're gonna replace all windows in the family development this year. We did the upgrade on all the light fixtures, shower heads, and such to make it energy efficient.
The upgrades for the kitchens and the...
For the bathrooms, we already got the grant last round, so we're using it to upgrade the bathrooms. right now, so 2011. But there is much more to go. I mean, we're trying to improve the property, which was not really improved for many, many years. It was really abandoned and run down. So we've done a lot of projects already, but it's a long way to go.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, just one other thing, just for the public at home, in case they didn't know, you are the director of the Tuckahoe Housing
Yes,
Authority.
I am.
And the Tuckahoe Housing Authority is comprised of 150 apartments, it's my understanding?
Yes.
As well as, in addition to that, it's the senior center building? You're in control of the...
No, 150 altogether, but we
Altogether.
also have 175 Section 8 vouchers.
Okay. But you're also, when you're applying for grants, you're also applying for money to upgrade the senior center?
Absolutely.
The senior
It
housing
will
building?
benefit the senior housing and senior building very much.
Okay.
I've got actually a question. Do you have an ongoing capital improvements fund or something along that that would be budgeted every year that would then accumulate so that when you do have a big project such as you talked about replacing the windows, there is some money available?
Yes.
And how does that work?
Well, providing that we are either standard or high performer, which we are, we get the grants from HUD directly, and we obligate funds for certain projects, and then as we go, we spend money on these particular projects.
And that's all strictly HUD funding?
Well, thank you for coming out tonight.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much for listening.
Thank you.
Janette, congratulations.
I would like to table resolution number 1. And
A motion to close.
Oh, I'm sorry, thank you. See, I'm still fresh at this, I'm learning this, on-the-job training here. Do I have a motion to close this public hearing?
So moved?
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor?
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. I would like to, motion to table resolution number 1 on tonight's agenda. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Any discussion? We're going to look to have a special meeting on this resolution and one other resolution. We're looking to see if we can schedule a meeting for one day next week, possibly next Monday.
Trustee Giordano.
In favor?
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Our next public hearing is a public hearing on the Community Development Block Grant funding for the fiscal year 2012-2014 application. Do I have a motion to open this public hearing on this CDBG funding?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion. I'm actually going to ask our grant writer, Mr. DeMarco, to please come to the podium. This public hearing, we're actually discussing the application, the 7 items that Frank has prepared a grant application on. So pretty much I'm going to ask you, Frank, why did you choose those, and can you talk a little bit about them?
Janet, congratulations, first of all. Hi, everybody. There are low-mod areas with these particular, there's a map of low-mod areas that distinguishes where these projects come into play. And, you know, sometimes these projects will get funded on one side of the street and not particularly across the street. And the reason for that is that, again, there's mapping for the low-mod area, and we have to apply each application to the particular site on the map. Presently, what I'm being told is the north end, which is Lincoln Avenue, Marbledale Road, that's slowly being diminished from our low-mod area in the future funding. So if you notice, a lot of these projects, sidewalk projects that are on this, are from the north end. We're trying to, if this is approved, we're trying to get our funds in and cover the north end, because I feel that the south end will be in a low-mod zone for quite a period of time. In helping me distinguish what these projects were going to be, I met with Tony Zano, who's the Director of Community Development Block Grants, who helps us annually with these applications. And, you know, I usually take a ride with him to discuss certain areas that might fall into this criteria. And he's been very detrimental and instrumental in helping us picking these areas.
And some of them are also, there's some infrastructure improvements in there, the sewer relining.
Yeah, we usually,
and the flood water.
every period, which is a 3-year period, we try to include sewer relining, which is an infrastructure. A lot of these sewers are old, they're antiquated, they need to be rebuilt, so what we try to incorporate is relining into our funds, so we could group certain areas. We try to get Main Street, Marbledale Road, a lot of our main sewers, we tried to get them relined, so we don't have a problem with them down the road. And they do normally fall into our cycle. They do give us an area every cycle. That'll accommodate that task.
Okay.
Actually, Frank, just in case anybody happens to be watching and doesn't understand the term low mod, could you just explain what that means?
A low mod is based on, I guess, income. You know, it depends on the income of the area.
And certain parts of Tuckahoe are mapped off as low mod,
Correct.
and that they're eligible to be, have improvements or projects from CDBG grants done in those neighborhoods, those areas.
Correct. We usually get a map every cycle, distinguishing colors and telling us how much we could apply for a certain particular area. And that'll help us distinguish what our applications will be.
Thank you, Frank.
Okay.
Any of the board members have any questions on these applications? Anybody from the public wish to question about this? And so no other comments. I ask for a motion to close the public hearing on this issue.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Trustee Giordano.
Favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. I'm now going to ask for a motion to table resolution number 2 to our special meeting that I referred to earlier that we're going to have next week. So a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Give it to Craig.
Sorry.
Any discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. We already heard our presentation from the Tuckahoe Housing Authority Director, so I'll move on to the adoption of our minutes. Approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of April 11, 2011. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
Trustee Eklund.
In favor.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
You're welcome.
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
Abstain.
Mayor Eklund.
in favor. Approval of the minutes of the special meeting of April 25th, 2011. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
Abstain.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Do we have any correspondence for the board from the clerk? Thank you. Appointments, I have a couple of reappointments tonight. First is a reappointment of Barbara Niemanen as member to the Sign and Awning Board for a term to expire on April 1, 2014. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Next is reappointment of Anne Marie Charmella as chairperson to the Sign and Awning Board for a term to expire April 1, 2012. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Reappointment of Keith Minarick as member to the Tuckahoe Library Board for a term to expire April 1, 2016. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. I want to thank all these members for the time that they volunteer on these boards. We sincerely appreciate it. We could not conduct the business of the village if we didn't have volunteers. And the next is the first opportunity to address the board on agenda items. If anybody has something they want to talk about that's on our agenda tonight. If not, I'm going to move on to our resolutions. Do we need to change these resolution numbers for each one of these? Since, okay.
There's one that's really just table.
All right. Resolution number 3, approving Tuckahoe Basketball Summer League request for the use of the Main Street Park from early July to mid-August. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor?
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor?
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 4, authorizing the mayor to sign an intermunicipal agreement between the County of Westchester and the Village of Tuckahoe for a 5-year term beginning January 1, 2011, and continuing through December 31, 2015, as it relates to the Stop DWI Patrol Project reimbursement contract. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second?
Discussion?
I think we're going to ask the chief just give a brief explanation of this.
Yeah, if you could, please.
Good evening. The Stop DWI program in Westchester County is a program where municipalities are reimbursed for police overtime to put out Stop DWI patrols. Selective enforcement, it's usually radar details looking for people who are driving while impaired. The program has been around, I think, every 5 years it has to be renewed, as all intermunicipal agreements do. And this is probably about the 5th one. So for about the last 25 years, we've been partnering with Westchester County in putting out extra patrols in order to stop driving while intoxicated incidents. So it's up, the 5 years is up. And again, it reimburses the village for overtime for extra patrols.
Thank you, Chief.
Any questions?
Chief, did they tell you when to conduct the stops? You know, a time frame, or is that up to you?
There are certain hours of certain days and certain hours, but they're not restrictive as to, specific dates to be out there. However, we usually twice a year we partner with our neighboring communities of Bronxville, Eastchester, and Scarsdale, and we do cross-jurisdictional Stop DWI checkpoints. We work in conjunction with one another, and when we do these special events, we do need to get approval from the Stop DWI program for these special events. But other than that, there really are very few restrictions.
But once you get the approval, then they reimburse us for the overtime?
Yes, and there's a limit. There's a cap of, I believe, $8,400 for the year.
Per year?
Correct. And the Stop DWI program statewide is actually funded by DWI arrests. So monies that are paid for fines and surcharges when somebody is arrested for driving while intoxicated or impaired funds this program statewide.
That's interesting.
That's interesting. So it's not out of tax dollars. That's interesting.
Has it always been that way?
I believe so.
Good.
It's a good use.
Thank you. Resolution number 5 is approving the renewal of the limited cabaret.
Vote on that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Trustee Giordano.
In favor?
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor?
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Thank you, Trustee Quigley.
I was president of Tuckahoe School Fund for 6 years.
see it.
Got used to these things, so.
Resolution number 5, approving the renewal of the limited cabaret license for the Quarry Restaurant for the period of 6 months, beginning April 10th and ending October 9th, 2011. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor?
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor?
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 6 is approving and authorizing the village clerk to issue a farmers market general business license to Westchester Greenhouses and Farms Incorporated to sell fruits and vegetables beginning Sunday, June 5th and ending Sunday, November 27th, 2011. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor?
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor?
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 7 is approving the renewal of the limited cabaret license for Stevens Green Bar and Restaurant for the period of 6 months, beginning May 8th and ending November 7th, 2011. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 8 is a resolution amending the schedule of fines for overtime parking violations in the Village of Tuckahoe. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion. What we're doing here is we are amending the schedule of fines for overtime parking violations in the Village of Tuckahoe. The present amount is $20, and we're actually increasing this to $25.
And I think we are more or less in line with the other municipalities in our area. This is not an outrageous amount for Lower Westchester, is my understanding.
That's true. We did some research. We asked the chief to look that up for us, and this did come as a recommendation as well, too, so.
I see him nodding affirmatively back there in the last row, so.
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 9 is scheduling a public hearing on amending Section 21-67 of the Village Code of the Village of Tuckahoe entitled Parking Violation Fines. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor.
And if I just might add, for these 2 resolutions, they actually go into effect on June 13th of this year, so a little time to get ready for it.
Resolution number 10, pardon me, amending the rates for short-term parking meters located in the Village of Tuckahoe. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 11 is authorizing the receiver of taxes to collect taxes for fiscal year June 1, 2011 through May 31, 2012 in 2 installments. The first installment will be on June 1, 2011. For non-payment of first installment, a 5% penalty shall be imposed for the month of July and a 1% penalty for each month thereafter to date of redemption. And the second installment shall be due on December 1, 2011. For non-payment of the second half installment, also a 5% penalty shall be imposed for the month of January and a 1% penalty for each month thereafter to date of redemption, and further authorizing the mayor to sign the tax collector's warrant that follows. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 12 is approving and authorizing the village clerk to issue a farmer's market general business license to Rodwell Sales to sell assorted breads beginning Sunday, June 5th and ending Sunday, November 27, 2011. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 13 is authorizing the use of the Tuckahoe trolley and driver for the Memorial Day Parade on Sunday, May 22nd. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 14 is authorizing the use of the Tuckahoe trolley and driver for a historic tour of Tuckahoe, Eastchester, and Bronxville, narrated by town historian Richard Forliano, tomorrow, Tuesday, May 10th, from 9 a.m. till noon time. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 15 is authorizing the use of the Tuckahoe trolley and driver for the Tuckahoe senior citizens for transportation to their Thanksgiving luncheon at Father Hall on Tuesday, November 22nd, from 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 16 is authorizing the closure of Fulling Avenue between Winter Hill Road and Gifford Street for a block party on August 6, 2011. The rain date for this, well, it's not going to rain, would be on August 7, 2011, and this is from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Any discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor?
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 17 is approving payment of vouchers in the amount of $334,591, consisting of abstract number 53 for $3,079, abstract 54 for $202,661, abstract number 55 for $128,850. The three largest invoices paid were $109,272 for employee health insurance premiums for the month of May, $29,638 for the 2011 town and school taxes on village-owned property, and $23,921 for road paving. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
A discussion? Actually, I have one question. Frank, $23,000 for road paving. Is that from last year's road paving? We didn't do any road paving this year.
Correct, that was from last year's.
That was from last year's?
Yes.
Okay, wow, they waited
Yeah,
that long to get
We
paid.
could build late in the season for that.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Giordano.
In favor?
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 18 is authorizing a home rule request to the state legislature. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Discussion. We actually did have some questions at our work session about this, so I don't know if any of the trustees had any other questions about this?
Yeah, a couple, not really questions, but some of the points that I think struck me about this. At first glance, it looks like we're locking up the village entirely to restrict parking from outsiders, and in fact, that's not exactly the case. There's a lot of different streets and intersections and areas of the village that we could, if we wanted to, put in parking restrictions, other 2-hour, 4-hour restrictions, because the issue is apparently a number of commuters, especially commuters at the Crestwood train station, tend to park on the village streets rather than paying the commercial lots, and this then makes it difficult for the homeowners to have parking as well. So there are some places that need restrictions, and my understanding of the home rule authorization, and John, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that if this is approved by us and eventually passed by the state legislature, it doesn't mandate these exact restrictions, but it does give us the authority then to put in certain restrictions if we want to among these different neighborhoods or streets that are listed in this resolution.
The way that this would work is if in fact it's approved locally by the Village Board of Trustees and then approved by the state legislature, it would come in as an amendment to section 16-40G2. So it would be written into state law effective from the state legislature, and that would define the area. There wouldn't be a second opportunity for the village board to then say, I want to implement this. It would actually be an amendment to section 1640.
But does that bind us to all these different...
It would, and I want to point out to the village board that this home rule request does include the Eastleigh corporate boundary. It says Fisher Avenue to the Eastleigh corporate boundary. There have been requests where that's been taken out because at the state level in the traffic committee, they felt that it was too large of an area. So it's up to the village board whether or not they would want to remove Fisher Avenue to the Eastleigh corporate boundary between the village of Tuckahoe and the town of Eastchester. That was in our original request, that's why I put it in this particular request, but it can be removed on the record tonight, should the board decide that it just want to focus on the opposite side of the village.
But my reading under, and there's so many different sections here, where it says section 2 under the second page, now therefore be it resolved, you get 1, 2, and 3, and for some reason we bounce back to 2. It says such residential parking permit system may only be established within the areas bounded by the following. To me, that's not must, it's may, and that seems to me gives us the option to do it if we want, but you're saying we don't have that option if
No,
we pass this resolution.
Normally, what, at the state level, it comes in as an amendment to section 16-40, which says this is the area that's now bounded and described.
It's the area,
Yeah,
but
could-
can't you then still choose whether you do a 4-hour restriction, a 2-hour restriction, an
That you can
8-hour
still- that
restriction,
you
or
still
no
have the option on.
restriction? Could you actually do no
If
restriction?
I could just interject, the law allows the village to issue resident permits. It doesn't even speak to the 2 or 4 hour limit. So it allows you to issue the permits within the area designated in the law. The village can add a 2 or 4 hour restriction or not, and that's up to the village board, and it's usually done street by street, usually by petition or survey. So it doesn't, I mean, the attorney's correct in saying you have to, it's allowed in that area, however, the 2 or 4 hour restriction is not mandated in any way. It allows you to issue resident permits. That's what the law allows.
So we could do 2 or 4 hour any place right now?
Or none?
No.
Or none, or...
Right, you can do 2 or 4 hour any place, but you can only issue the resident permits within
If
the
we
zone
expand this,
that's in the
right.
vehicle and traffic.
Right, okay.
Does that clarify it a little bit?
So this legislation is really for the $10 annual permits?
That's correct.
That's what it's for?
Right.
Okay. It
To
allows us
exempt
to
residents-
issue those in areas that we
And
cannot issue
exempt
them right now.
residents from the overtime restriction.
Right, right.
And that's the term in the bill that says parking permit system area. That's the sort of the term of art we're using here. Okay.
Right.
Why do you need to have the $10? Why we have it here, I might be acting, this is only the first step, but I do want to understand, I know you say it covers costs, but Chief, I had seen our exchange of email communications, but what's the reason for, what are the actual costs? to
Maybe the
village?
clerk could speak to that, but I would assume it's printing the permits and the personnel hours put into actually administering the program.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. It's for the printing of the permits, the applications, and administering, issuing the permits.
I've got to think, though, that's a fixed cost, right? We don't hire somebody specifically to do that, right? We
No,
already
those
have-
will cost, when the permits were put in place, that was $10, and it has not been raised since the
Oh,
time
I
it
understand.
was-
I have to say that, as a resident who's on one of those streets, that I find it to be, I can understand the reason for it, because I think that we need to control people having, parking, having access on these streets, and then walking down to the station and using it. However, I do have to say this, with respect to I would think that the whole goal of it is to protect the residents of the village. And sometimes I've found that with respect to the enforcement, that, on the first day of, when it goes into effect for the first day for a next period, the tickets are issued up and down the street for it. I would think that it may be better to do a warning.
We've always done warnings.
You did warnings?
Always.
Oh, okay. Then I apologize. Then I think that's the right process, Chief, and
We
I
usually,
apologize.
any new restriction, whether it's alternate side or overtime parking, it's a minimum of 2 weeks of warnings.
Okay, so even for every year when you do it, you would do
Correct.
the warnings before
Correct.
you issued the violation? Okay. And any way that could be done by mail, I guess you need to have the cars registered to show the ownership and the...
Yeah, it's a whole process. They need their registration. We need to make sure the registration is up to date. They don't come in with an expired registration. We have people that rent, they need to bring their new lease. Because if they don't have all this information, they could easily live elsewhere and come for a permit. We have to verify all that information. It's all very time consuming. And I think that was the reason for just establishing that $10 fee from the time it was put into effect.
How many permits have we issued, say, this year?
This year, I think somewhere between 450 and 550, somewhere in that area.
And every year, the clerk's office catches a couple of dozen people scamming trying to avoid paying $1,300 to park in one of the lots. So it is time consuming.
And worthwhile, I mean, I think, as long as the goal is to protect the village residents, that's really the
Agreed.
issue.
That's helpful.
Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Bear with me while I get through the couple of trees that were killed in order to get this one done.
This is all the
Oh, that's true. Resolution number 19, am I right here? Okay, 19.
Resolution, as it says here.
Yeah, I added my R on mine. Resolution number 19, authorizing the advertising for public bids in connection with the project known as the Village of Tuckahoe Village Hall Parking Lot Paving Project. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Discussion. I'll talk about this a little bit. We, as people can see, we actually have finished our retaining wall project outside of Village Hall here, and we will be, part of that contract is for the contractor to pave on the side of the building here, and at this time, we kind of floated out some ideas for a couple of local contractors to see what it will cost to pave the rest of the parking lot, now that we see how much it's been injured throughout our terrible winter that we had. We have a structural problem the very back end of the parking lot that we're going to have to attend to. So we're going to go out and solicit some bids, and we're kind of hoping that we're going to get some fairly aggressive pricing on this, and maybe we'll be able to pave the village parking lot once and for all. Roll call?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 20 is authorizing an increase as of June 1, 2011 for the annual parking permit fee for all commuter parking lots except for the Lake Avenue lot, Thompson Street lot, and the Fisher Avenue lot as follows. Tuckahoe residents will pay $750. That is unchanged from the last couple of years. Tuckahoe merchants, the annual fee is $800, and that also has not changed in the last few years. Eastchester and Bronxville residents will see an increase of 5%, and they will now pay $1,260 per year. And non-residents will see also a 5% increase, and they'll be paying $1,365 per year. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 21 is authorizing an increase as of June 1, 2011 for the annual parking permit fee for the Lake Avenue lot, the Thompson Street lot, and the Fisher Avenue lot to $1,365. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. I'll just explain this here. Currently, the Lake Avenue lot and the Thompson Street lot are a pay-one price lot, which is at the higher rate, which up until June 1st is $1,300, and then that's going up by 5%. We've added the Fisher Avenue lot to this equation, and that is also now going to be a pay-one price lot as well for $1,365. Roll call?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes.
In favor.
Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Departmental reports to the board. Our Superintendent of Public Works is going to present us an overview of our stormwater report. Light reading, I guess, right, Frank?
Again, it seemed like yesterday I did this. This is the 2011 annual MS4 stormwater report. This is filed annually with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. And basically what this is it's a reference to our storm system here in the village. Our stormwater leads into the catch basins that are up against the curbs, streets, and usually at the end of the driveway, the end of the roads. This water leads into our Bronx River Preserve, or river. And this report, all they're asking from us is that annually, we make sure that we do our part in making sure that the water that's discharged into the Bronx River is not illicit discharge. It's not contaminated, and there isn't any problems with the water. They asked for 6 basic minimal measures, and they are public education and outreach on stormwater impact, public involvement and participation, illicit discharge detention and elimination, construction site stormwater runoff control, post-stormwater management in new development and redevelopment, pollution prevention, good housekeeping for municipality operations. Semi-annually, I go out there and I just make sure that we have basically 13 outfalls that lead into the Bronx River, and I just have to go out there semi-annually to make sure that anything that filters out into our waterways doesn't look contaminated and is clear. But as far as our education and outreach, what we've done here in the village, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but the catch basins have little emblems on them. They have numbers identifying each catch basin with our GPS system. And they also have a little saying, you know, please don't discharge into our Bronx River. So that's part of our educational outreach for the public. This MS4 report will also be viewed on our website. And we're also going to have a questionnaire that I please suggest and highly recommend that as many people can answer for us. It's part of our MS4 application. It will be electronically delivered to us back here in Tuckahoe. Any other questions?
Well covered, Frank.
Okay.
Thank you. Miscellaneous business, our next village board meeting is going to be on Monday, June 13th. And I actually want to add in here that we're going to have a community meeting on Wednesday, June 1st. This is going to be at 7 o'clock in the Circuit Avenue Park. This is an opportunity for the public to come on out. These are untelevised meetings. We try to have them, and we're going to ask the chief to come up. Actually, you come up right now, chief. Go ahead. That's the only other item. That, and of course, DPW offices are going to be closed on Memorial Day, May 30th.
What time,
Sorry,
June
Chief.
1st, Steve?
At 7 o'clock.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, congratulations to Trustee Hayes. I look forward to working with you, and welcome to the board. Just a couple of announcements for the police department. First, I just want to alert the residents that there's been a rash of car larcenies from cars that have been left unlocked in the area, particularly in the Gifford Park area. Last week, we had several cars who had loose change and GPS devices and radios and other electronic devices stolen from unlocked cars, and as well as our neighboring departments of Eastchester, Bronxville, and New Rochelle has also been hit very hard by these types of larcenies. There have been some apprehensions in the last couple of days, and the cars that have been found were loaded with these electronic devices. They seem to be organized rings. I mean, many years ago, these were just local kids getting into just crimes of opportunity, getting into unlocked cars. Now it seems to become very organized. So I'd like to just remind our residents to make sure you lock your cars, particularly in the evenings. Most of these larcenies have occurred in the early morning hours, after midnight. So just a heads up for our residents. And just the second announcement is that this Saturday, May 14th, is the police department's annual memorial service at 9 a.m. It's held in the front of Village Hall at our monument. We honor all of our deceased members, the 158 police officers who were killed in the line of duty this past year, and also particularly we lost our retired member, Donald Reed, who passed away last July, and we honor him specifically. So that's 9 o'clock this Saturday, May 14th. So, thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Do any other department heads who are here tonight want to have anything else to say? Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to exclude you guys. Board of Trustees member reports. Deputy Mayor Giordano.
I have nothing to report this evening.
Thank you. Trustee Quigley?
Just a couple of announcements of some upcoming events of interest. Library first, there's several events going on Friday, May 6th at 11:30 a.m. It'll be Japanese Children's Day at the library. May 6th, yes, I'm glad I can read. Thank you. Okay, Wednesday, May 18th, that's next week, right? At 6:30 p.m. Will be a book club. The book they're discussing is The Distant Land of My Father by Bo Caldwell. On the 18th will be Andy Rosenthal will be present discussing her novel called The Bookseller's Sonnet. Apparently this has been got quite a reception. Might be a very interesting talk. You can find all the information about the library on the Tuckahoe Village website, tuckahoe.com, and then you'll see a link to the library for the events that are going on there. In Chamber of Commerce news, we'd like to welcome a new business in Tuckahoe, just opened officially about a week ago, the Advanced Audiology of New York. It's taken up residence in that new medical arts building on Main Street. So we welcome Dr. Jason Ruiz and his staff to the Tuckahoe downtown. Let's see, we've got on June 11th will be the annual Green Day at Eastchester Town Hall from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is lots of events going on, speakers, entertainment, music, exhibits, vendors, lots of suggestions of how to clean up your yards and dispose of waste and how to essentially be a better citizen in terms of the environment. I also announced, and I think we'll be getting this circulated, the new guide for recycling has been issued by Westchester County. The big bonus now is that with plastics, they can take virtually all numbered plastics, and you don't have to worry about the separating that we used to have to do. So good news on the environmental front. That's it.
Thank you, Trustee Quigley. Trustee Luisi?
I met with Rafael Rivera, who's the Tuckahoe School Board liaison with the Tuckahoe Village Board, and we had a conversation about his concerns with the upcoming development on Midland Park. On June 13th, I will be attending the school board meeting, which will introduce myself to the incoming members of the school board, and I'll also have an opportunity to say goodbye to the outgoing school board members. I also have some information concerning the Tuckahoe Community Center. Along those lines of the Tuckahoe schools, they will be having their budget vote and trustee election on Tuesday, May 17th from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. The community center also will be holding a defensive driving class, which will be held on Saturday, May 21st from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. A successful completion of this class will lower your insurance rates. The Tuckahoe varsity football team will be having a preseason car wash at the center on Saturday, June 4th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And lastly, and probably most importantly, the Tuckahoe Community Center will be hosting a blood drive on Thursday, June 9th from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Historically, the summer months are when the blood banks are suffering from their lowest quantity, so if anyone can come out and donate blood, please do. That, again, is on June 9th from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. If you need any further information about what I've just mentioned, you can contact John Diarco at 231-0229. That's all I got.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Trustee Hayes, would you like to report on anything?
Thank you, Mayor. A few announcements to make. First, this upcoming Sunday, May 15th, from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. in Depot Square, the Westchester County Clerk's Office and their outreach staff is making it easy for village residents to apply for and process passport applications, and they'll also take passport photos. All details have been posted on our village website. In addition, information scrolling on our cable access channel, which explains what documentation you should bring with you and the applicable fees for processing. In addition, there's a couple of meetings that will be taking place this week and next week. This Wednesday, May 11th, the Zoning Board has their work session scheduled for 6 p.m., and then right after their work session, they'll be having their regularly scheduled monthly board meeting, which begins at 7 p.m. And then also on this Wednesday evening at 7:30 p.m., the Environmental Committee will be meeting. And looking ahead next week, on next Tuesday, May 17th, the Planning Board has their monthly board meeting scheduled for 7:30 p.m. And finally, right before Memorial Day weekend, on Wednesday, May 25th, the Tree Committee will be meeting at 7 p.m. And that concludes my announcements and reports for this evening.
Thank you very much. I am happy to say that I have received my first letter from a student in the Tuckahoe community. And I want to say, first of all, thank you very much to Gianna Torres, who is a fourth grader at the Cottle Elementary School. I have a fourth grader in my household, and the first thing I want to say is that, Gianna, you have very, very neat handwriting, much neater than mine. She sent me a letter actually asking us to consider some recycling thoughts that she has, so I will be raising her concerns to our DPW commissioner, and we will certainly be talking about putting in a few more recycling cans throughout the village of Tuckahoe. So I encourage all our students to please write the mayor or any of the other board members here, because we take all of your comments very, very seriously. So thank you. I will definitely hold on to this letter. We had a meeting this past week about our Yonkers Avenue project. This is a project I've been talking about, it seems, for years, but I guess it's been about a year and a half now. We had anticipated today being the first day that we would be closing Yonkers Avenue and starting the roadway reconstruction project. And when we met with the Army Corps of Engineers last week and the contractor, we were told at that meeting, surprisingly enough, that they're not ready, and they will not be ready until the middle of July, maybe the 1st of August. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise. It looks like now we're going to start to close that road on the Tuesday after the 4th of July weekend. So I try to look at the positive aspect of everything, and I figure maybe it's a little bit better for the village because there are not as many people traveling through the village in the summer months, so it gives us a month or two under our belt to get used to, or have the residents get used to the new traffic patterns. So hopefully the contractor doesn't have any other curveballs that he's going to throw at us. I actually want to make a comment. I want to make a comment about our planning board. There were a few comments that were raised at our last planning board meeting. First off, I want to address some questions that were raised by a member of the public at the meeting regarding my appointment of Claire Gorman to the unfilled vacant seat that was left by Chris Cannell on the planning board. My decision to appoint Claire was driven by 4 factors. First was her many years of administrative experience serving as village trustee. The second is her position as liaison to both the zoning and planning boards, whereby she maintained an understanding of the applications that was on all of their agendas. Third is her record of environmental accomplishments, which although I sometimes have disagreed with, actually a lot of times, I do believe this type of thinking has a role in all planning boards. And finally, her available and willingness to serve the village. So I wanted to clear that up. I've seen some comments about this, and I just wanted people to hear it from me. The last item is, I want to talk about the Main Street Development Project. The village has taken up space on that property there, and I'll actually ask Mr. DeMarco to come up and maybe address this as to what we've done in the last couple of weeks.
Well, as you know, Phil had allowed us during the winter months to dump snow there that we've accumulated in the village. But besides that, we've had, he's allowed us to have storage of materials, trucks. Being at our DPW yard has been renovated over the year. We were limited with the room, and we reached out to Phil. He allowed us to temporarily store our vehicles there. But we have moved everything out. We've cleaned up the yard. And the only thing that's remaining is the salt. And we have a location for it, so within the next couple of weeks, we're hoping that we'll get that in place.
We're going to rebuild the salt storage area on our property. Right, so, yeah, I just wanted the public to know that the planning board some of the members had actually raised some question as to whether or not we, the village, whether we were doing our part in enforcing some of the applications that they had made decisions on. And I thought about this and I felt a little bad because we actually have taken up space on that property, and I think that we may have put the property owner in kind of a bad position there. So I did call him in, I spoke to him, and I spoke to our DPW commissioner here, and we made a decision to go ahead and take all our assets off of his property. And once we get the salt off, we'll pretty much be done. So it's good for the village, it's good for the property owner there, so he can continue his process through the planning board. And I wanted the planning board to know that, you know what, their concerns did not fall on deaf ears. I spoke to our building administrator about this and code enforcement department, and I think it's important that they know that we do take their concerns very seriously. So I want to thank you, Bill, as well. Thank you, Frank. Now we have a second opportunity to address the board. Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Joe Pergiato, 126 Siwanoy Boulevard. I'm not a village resident, but I'm a Tuckahoe School District resident. In fact, I live on the same road as the schools. And anyway, I'd just like to take this opportunity to congratulate Trustee Hayes and Mayor Eklund. It's great to see this new look board, and we're excited about, you know, which direction you're going to take Tuckahoe going forward. And the last, I don't know if this is going to change, but the last few village board meetings have been on the very same night as the Tuckahoe school board meetings, and I'm usually at the school board meetings. So, you know, but I'm glad I'm here. So, I'd also like to take a quick opportunity to add, since we did that, I have a very good friend, David Albin, who also opened up in that medical building on Main Street, and he's got a medical billing business, and he loves it here. He comes down from Edgemont, and he lives up there, and he loves it here. And also, I don't know if Trustee Luisi had mentioned that on Saturday, did you mention that it's the junior carnival for the, it's really a big deal for them, so, you know, that seemed like the first thing you were going to say, so thought I'd add that. It's really good.
Usually I have the sign on my front lawn. I didn't get one this year.
Well, anyway, listen, I just wanted to ask a couple of questions. Regarding the Crestwood project, Mayor Eklund, how did you vote on that?
I voted against the rezone of that project.
You voted against it. So I'm sure there's many people at home that appreciate that Mayor Eklund voted no on that project. Why did you vote no?
I had significant issues with the three-story aspect of the building. I was much more comfortable if it was going to be a two-story building, and I had voiced my opinion to that effect. But it didn't go that way, but I do support the decision of the board, and I wish the developer all the best in whatever he builds.
Okay, so that was the only issue?
Yeah, the school, I know that there's been a lot of talk about school children impact, and to me, the deciding factor for me was not school children. It was basically the three-story aspect of how that building would look in that streetscape. I live right around the corner from it, so I spent a lot of time kind of analyzing it. That's what threw me over the edge, I guess.
So basically, it's a size issue. 3 stories. Size issue.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So can I assume then, since you were against the Crestwood project, which is only 20, I forget how many units it was, 20-something units?
26.
26 units. Would it be fair to assume that for the very same reasons that you were against the Crestwood project, that you were against Main Street project. Other than that, the fact that you don't live around the corner from the Main Street project, is it fair to assume that you would be against that as well?
Well, that's not before this board.
I know it's not.
For a rezone, and it was at a time. I was on the board when we rezoned that property to the zoning category that it has now, but that's, I think what you're alluding to is an issue before the planning board.
That's right, but let me add to that a couple of quick things. It was before the zoning board, and you changed it. It was changed from, that area was changed from commercial only to mixed use. And then once it was changed to mixed use, originally the project was going to be 88 units and 18,500 square feet of retail, including as part of the plan, the master plan, keeping the first floor all commercial. That was changed. There was an amendment made under several conditions to the planning board, site plan amendment, that would keep the square footage the same, or the footprint the same, rather, but they changed the amount. The request by the developer was to change it to from 88 units to 129 units, and decrease the commercial area from 18,500 square feet to 1,500 square feet, maybe 2,000. So to me, that's like, I'm not Jewish, but I know a few Yiddish words, and to me, that sounds like a schnurra. You know what a schnurra is?
I don't, I'm sorry.
A schnurra is one of those people, you give them an inch, they take a mile. So I think that's very unfair, one thing, and that's what's in front of the planning board right now. Okay, that's what's in front of the planning board. They're going through conniptions there. Now, when you voted no on the Crestwood project, who else voted no on the Crestwood project?
Mr. Giordano did.
That's what I thought. So, and it was defeated 3-2, was it? Was that the vote?
That's correct.
Okay, so who voted for the Crestwood project?
Actually, it was passed 3-2.
It was passed 3-2.
Oh, it was
You're right.
passed.
That's true,
Yeah,
that's
it was
right.
passed 3-2. So who voted for the Crestwood project?
The mayor did, and Trustee Gorman did, and I'm trying to think who else was on the board.
And Steve.
Quigley, yes, Mr.
Right.
Quigley.
Okay. So Trustee Gorman voted for it, okay? So you appointed her on the planning board, okay? So do you think that it's possible that she may vote for the Main Street project, also against your?
No, and, maybe you may think I'm naive, but I don't. I truly believe that all of those board members are going to weigh today, and they're going to weigh all of the information that they're going to be presented with, and they're going to come to a decision whenever that application is put to a vote. And, whether that is in a month or 6 months or a year, I have no idea when they're going to close out that application. I don't think for a second that any member on that board has made their mind up, especially at this point in time right now. I really don't.
That's not really the issue. I wanted to address something you said a little earlier. You said it's in front of the planning board now, it's not your decision.
Correct.
Okay. Well, the former mayor took a very vocal opinion of the Main Street project, and it wasn't in front of the village board either. And we know exactly how he felt on the Main Street project. He's no longer a factor.
Which is why you don't see me at planning board or zoning board meetings. I was a former member of the zoning board. I believe that it's not, whether I'm a trustee or the mayor here, I don't think that it's my position to exert any influence on them. I want them to make a decision based on the merits and the facts of the application that's presented before them. And it's not my responsibility, or it's nothing that I want to take a position on. I would rather them do their job. I'll do my job up here, and I want them to do their job there.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair answer. You know what all of the issues that we're presenting in front of the planning board. We try to go there all the time. It's not a question of, the former mayor tried to, in my opinion, tried to pit one group against the other, tried to pit village residents against Eastchester residents in the district, and people of the village against Eastchester, people in the school district, out of the school district, the north end, the south end, whatever, the other side of town, and tried to make that the issue. And then following up, I heard people come up to this podium, after we had been going in front of the planning board since January 20th. Finally, in the last month or so, there were a couple of people came up here and made statements for the project, but their statements for the project were the very same reasons, very same concerns that we had, but they were addressing it as, well, you haven't, Tuckahoe looks a lot better now, we should do something with the empty lots, and things of that nature. This is not a question of put something there because the lots are ugly. This is a question of whether it makes economic sense. And that's why, as soon as we found out about the 129 units, we started crunching numbers. And if everyone just crunched the numbers, they would know that a project of that size, 129 units, 250, even using the developer's ridiculously low Rutgers number of 17 school children predicted, even using 17 school kids and using their full amount of assessed property tax that they're predicting, it would barely cover 17 kids. Okay? Now, the planning board still hasn't seen rent predictions. Every time they come up with a rent projection, it's been different. We've heard total property values go from $420,000 total property taxes to $590 to $607. Each time it gets higher, so they know that they can cover more kids going to the schools. Okay? And that is something that that is rent generated, that's income generated property tax. That's not something where they get just charged that. And if they don't come up with the rent, they don't have to pay the taxes. They file a tax certiorari, and the taxes will be lower. So they'd be able to support even fewer than that number, which we think is out of line. In fact, the Tuckahoe School District has done a study, and we'll come up with a study for the next planning board meeting that'll show you exactly how many children are predicted with plus or minus 3% error over a 5-year period. So the number that you're going to hear at the next planning board meeting is very accurate. It's made specifically for the Tuckahoe School District. It's not a general national number like the building industry likes to use the Rutgers numbers because they predict very low number of school kids. And we can make the planning board can make a much more educated decision when we, after the next planning board meeting. So I'm here for the same reasons everyone, whether you're in the village or not. I'm here for the kids, the school district, and our property values, the taxes. It's simple as that. This project, if there's over X amount of kids, that means our school district is going to be not only just physically more crowded, but the taxes generated by the property will not cover the cost of the children. And as far as your property values go, there's a relationship, obviously, between the schools and the property taxes. Not only are the number of the kids in your school, I mean, if you were moving into Tuckahoe, this is very important. If you're moving into Tuckahoe, would you rather have 30 kids in the classroom or fewer? If you were selling your home, would you rather sell your home and the people buying your house saying, well, what am I paying for? Is it 30 kids in the classroom or fewer? Okay, for the first time ever this year, Tuckahoe is going to have 6 kindergarten classes. That means that next year there'll be 6 first grades. et cetera, et cetera. We're physically running out of room, and the number of kids that this project can add can really push it to beyond the limit. So that's why this project has to be carefully looked at, and don't just assume that the developer, with their polished lawyers and their whole dog and pony show, are going to come up here and give you the facts. We're obligated for our kids and our property values. That's what we should be. If we all did that, we'd be fine. They are obligated, the Glenmark developers, they're obligated to their investors. They are a real estate investment company. That's their only obligation. The numbers they're throwing out, and from what I understand, they don't even own their properties after they build them anyway. They sell them to someone else later on anyway. The bottom line is that those numbers really shouldn't be trusted. At least the numbers that we have no vendetta against Mr. Raffiani. We have no reason to be against. We have no reason to continue to want to see vacant lots on Main Street. But at some point, and I know what that number is, at some point you have to realize that this project is a loser. And we're very factually, when we go to the planning board, we're bringing up one fact after the other. And those conditions that you addressed earlier, the planning board set conditions, resolutions. And I asked a simple question. If those conditions weren't met, why don't you revoke the resolution? They said, we don't have the power. Well, if they have the power to set a resolution, don't they have the power to revoke it? Now, you did address it somewhat, but they should have the power to revoke it, because after so much time, and you have addressed it, but after so much time, even the developers know that planning board, they don't have any power. I mean, they all know it. Let's face it. And that would almost be like you giving the resolution to, to raise the parking fees 5%. Do you have the power to revoke that, to change that? Sure. Well, the planning board couldn't even tell us that they had the power to revoke it. We referred to the attorney, the village attorney, and he didn't even, he told us, well, we should get an attorney to find out.
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay, I beg your pardon.
What I did say was that because the fact that site plan approval was previously granted, and because revoking the site plan approval was such a drastic remedy, I would do it in the nature of a declaratory judgment action. That's what I told you.
Okay.
I didn't tell you to get an attorney. I told you because it was such a drastic remedy, that would be my concern.
Well, there
what I'm
was a
saying-
reference to,
What I'm saying is that
you
under
said the
well, let me
safest way.
just finish
Okay.
my statement. Just by doing it under the guise of a court order, I think it would put the village in a much more defensible position.
Okay, that's clear, but it seems almost unclear that, when you're addressing a board, that the very resolution that they grant, they don't have the power to revoke. That's all we were shocked about, and they couldn't answer. And they're, without their power, without them having any power, they've got to have power. So anyway, that I was addressing there. Anyway, bottom line, if you do the math, and we're doing the math, we still haven't heard what the numbers are from the Glenmark project. And one time, or a couple of times, Chairman Chiaramella asked them, how did you derive at $607,000 in total property taxes? And the lawyer, the attorney, Mr. Null, said, well, it's easy. It's 607 divided by the 129 units comes out to an average of $4,700 in property taxes. That wasn't the question. That's like saying, how much is a dozen eggs? And they say 12. You've got to know that it's $2.99. They've got to know that the planning board still hasn't gotten the numbers from Glenmark, or what rents they're going to get, the size of the apartments. Are they going to be one-bedroom apartments that are 1,200 square feet with a separate dining room and a den that could easily be converted into bedrooms? There was a whole article in the Journal News just the other day on that very topic, how people are chopping living rooms in half and putting curtains up and things like that. And the two-bedroom units, their numbers they use, just to give you an example, they said there's going to be 17 total school kids, okay? The numbers they used are as follows. They said of the 59 two-bedroom units, that there would be, the children would come out of those 59 two-bedroom units. None would come out of the one-bedroom units, okay? You could almost see a few always come out of it. But let's just take their 17 kids out of the 59 two-bedroom units. What they're saying is there's going to be one child for every 4 two-bedroom units. There's going to be a quarter child for every two-bedroom unit. So to me, as for a rental unit, that's obviously, trying to paint a rosy picture. Who would rent a two-bedroom apartment to have one bedroom empty? Rent. You could almost make the argument if you were going to buy a condo and say, well, I could see I'm going to be here a while, it's in my investment, I'll get it back when I sell it. This is a rental. If you rent a two-bedroom apartment and have an empty bedroom, all you're doing is giving the money to the landlord. In fact, it's the exact opposite strategy when you rent. When you rent, you're trying to save money. Maybe later you'll buy a condo or you'll buy a home. That's the whole idea. You're not just going to rent an empty bedroom. And that's why the numbers they're not to be trusted. And when you see the actual number that the school district hired, a very well-known firm that does impact studies on school districts, their specialty is just school districts, you'll see what the number actually is, and you'll see what effect that has and how it would be detrimental to the village and anyone living in the Tuckahoe School District. So that's what I'd like to say. But thank you for answering the questions, and it's great to see a totally new look on the village board. Thanks a lot. Try to make it different. I don't know who sets up the times, but I really like to get to I think I have more impact. I think parents have more impact on a day-to-day basis if they can go to the school board meetings.
Well, we could have made it real easy if they just moved up to the 3rd floor here. All you would have to have done is come right downstairs. So.
That's on the table.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public? Yes, please.
Hi, I'm Emily. Nice to see everyone tonight. Congratulations, Jeanette. I actually was just talking to your first person who wrote you a letter.
Oh, wonderful.
And she was very ecstatic to find out that you're going to help her put all the recycling bins. And then I told her about how you were complimenting her, so she was even more ecstatic. So she says, thank you very much. And she's very happy and proud that she could be your first letter.
Well, I will treasure this, that's for sure.
All right, have a good night, guys.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to address the board? If there is no other business tonight, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Till next time, Tuckahoe, have a good night.